I'm a writer, director, and producer. And a mother.
Every filmmaker has a vision. That's what we have in common.
If I don't tell the story, who will?
Please leave this area open, please. Only authorized people here, please. Turkey out of Kurdistan! Turkey out of Kurdistan! I want you to know that Apo is every Kurd, and every Kurd is Apo!
He is unknown to most Americans, but the arrest of Kurdish separatist leader Abdullah Öcalan is spurring outrage throughout Europe. Every place you see a circle today, there was a demonstration or a political action because a man named Abdullah Öcalan faces the death sentence because of the war he has waged against the Turks. And what has made Kurds even angrier today is the cooperation that Turkey apparently got from the Greeks in picking him up.
All across Europe, the Kurdish independence movement erupted in fury over the capture of its leader.
Why are we fighting? It is because the Turks have decided to assimilate all the Kurds into Turkish culture, Turkish language, and for us to forget everything that we are about.
Listen, we've got to face the fact, and it's a very important fact, that Turkey is a critical strategic ally of the United States. Turkey is a member of NATO. It is not only surrounded by very hostile countries, but it is the one democracy in the area.
There's an armed insurgency going on, and Turkey is not going to let an armed insurgent group dismember a portion of their country.
The U.S. State Department says that these Kurdish guerrillas are terrorists. For their part, they say that they're fighting a war of national liberation for a united Kurdistan.
This is not a war against terrorism, this is a war against the Kurdish people. And although Turkey is trying to deal with the PKK, which is an armed group, their strategy for dealing with them is to indiscriminately kill people in the southeast of Turkey. That to me is not an anti-terrorism strategy, that is an anti-Kurdish strategy.
Bas.
Are we back in a good spot now? There.
Like a lot of journalists, I went to northern Iraq at the end of the Gulf War to cover the abortive Kurdish uprising against Saddam.
In Kishon, northern Iraq, this is Kevin McKiernan.
There was almost a traffic jam of reporters in Iraq, but only a few miles away in Turkey there was another Kurdish uprising that no one was reporting in the U.S. media. Kurdish villages were burning. Refugees were being driven from their homes by U.S. weapons, something I knew nothing about, and the war was spreading. I wanted to get the story. Who would have guessed back in 1991 that I was setting out on an odyssey that would take years and bring me face to face with guerrilla safe houses, backpacking trips behind army lines, and more than a few scrapes with the Turkish army.
Turkish tanks inside Iraq. Stop. Stop. No, you cannot. I'm an American citizen. You cannot arrest me here. This is Iraq. This is Iraq.
This is NBC.
When I got home, there was a lot of interest in the Kurds of Iraq.
And they feel Saddam Hussein is still in power, and many of them are still living in tents in the mountains.
But the U.S. media didn't seem interested in stories about the hidden war in Turkey. At ABC Nightline, they said my footage was hard-hitting, even exclusive, but it was a no-go. Someone in the newsroom confided in me that the anchor didn't like the Kurdish story. At another network, the producer told me, it's just not on our radar. Back home in Santa Barbara, 7,500 miles from southeast Turkey, it all felt a little surreal. I was chock full of images, and some of them were horrible. Now, reporters don't just get the news, they're supposed to get the news out, and I couldn't even give the story away. But then I ran into the story again. There happened to be a Kurdish family in town, and they owned a Maytag appliance store where I ended up buying a refrigerator.
We are here to install a washer dryer.
Go do it.
Where is it?
It's right there. Come with me.
All right. They are simply the best machines there are.
And if you
The Maytag testimonials were great, but I wondered why the family had come to the U.S. I knew Kurdistan was the poorest part of